Marvel Legends, Hasbro Pulse exclusive, Spider-Man, VHS series, Green Goblin, and Mary Jane Watson. Let's get it. What is good, my peeps? It's your Knucker Big Rocker back at you again with another action figure review. You see what it is. We've got Marvel Legends VHS series, the penultimate box set. Penultimate meaning next to last for those that are uninitiated. This is from Spider-Man, and we have got Green Goblin and Mary Jane Watson based on the 90s cartoon. And this will be our second attempt, or rather Hasbro's second attempt at the Green Goblin as far as the cartoon is concerned. Their first attempt, which was in a retro card. It just didn't cut the mustard. It was based off of the older comic-based Green Goblin body, and they tried to do something with the head sculpt to make it more cartoonish. And in that regard, they succeeded. It did appear more cartoonish, but not accurate to the cartoon, the 90s cartoon source material. As for Mary Jane, this is our first time getting Mary Jane as far as the cartoon is concerned. This is our second time getting a Mary Jane. Technically third if you want to count Gwen Stacy, who came with the Mary Jane head, if you want to include that. But Bonafide Mary Jane, this is our second go-round, but our first go-round based on the 90s cartoon. You could see the figure over there to our left. She's wearing the colors that she was known for in the cartoon. So what we got going on, looking at the box, you see the box arts based on that cartoon. And that's how it goes down. In terms of the top, you got the Spider-Man logo. And then turning to the side, we have got that VHS-like appearance where it looks like it's a sleeve that will hold two VHS. You've got the Green Goblin and Mary Jane facing one another as though they're adversaries. Reads 1 and 2. Unfortunately, all of them read 1 and 2. It would have been nice if they would have been numerically consistent and went all the way down the line, but that's not what we got, so we won't talk about it. On the back here, we have the digital 3D renders of the figures, and of course a spider logo on the top. And then on the other side, we have got, I'll turn it so you can see it, you've got more artwork of Green Goblin and Mary Jane. And that is how it goes down with the packaging. As far as accessories go, Mary Jane, she comes with a mirroring set of hands, a right fist and a left open hand. And that's really all she comes with. The Goblin comes with a satchel. This, it's painted, not painted, but molded in green, as you could see. He also comes with a pumpkin bomb that is, of course, colored in pumpkin orange, and you've got fluorescent green for the eye and mouth slits, as well as the flame effects at the top there. He also comes with his unmasked head sculpt, and you can take a better look at it close up. It's definitely cartoonish, but still realistic enough. The digital print still, made it regular enough. I don't think this is the best rendition of Norman Osborn, but it is supposed to be based off of cartoons, so that's probably it. The face does look good. It's got the hair. That's definitely Norman right there, for sure. So that's probably going to have to do. And of course, where would the Green Goblin be without his Goblin glider? This is a little bit different from past gliders that we've gotten. This one's a little bit bigger, so that's cool. So it hopefully will mean that he can actually stand on it a little bit easier. One thing that'll help is you can see the figure over there to our right. He does have the curled toes, so that should lock him in. and we'll see if that works. This glider is molded in a purple. Turn to the back there. It's got like a dab of paint there to show some exhaust. You can see that right there. And the front, the design is different from what we've seen in the past. We'll kick this 2-pack off with Green Goblin. Seeing as how this is our third attempt via Hasbro, I should say, at a Green Goblin. Second attempt at a cartoon-based version of him. The differences, I could tell you right off the bat, is we don't have the chainmail arms and legs. It's the same body more or less. They just removed the chainmail and changed the colors up. We've got a brighter pinkish kind of purple going on, and they changed the gloves to more emulate what we saw in the cartoon, and the same thing with the boots. And the most noticeable change is the head sculpt. Definitely different, and we will compare to the last attempt, so you'll see what I'm talking about if you haven't seen that already. This is definitely more accurate to the cartoon, and yeah, it's got that maniacal look as the Green Goblin should. It's got the yellow eyes with the black pupils, the mouth open. It's got some fangs in there, and yeah, pretty cool, pretty nice. As far as the rest of them, is pretty plain. This particular Goblin comes with a collar. This collar is loose, and you know, you might wonder, well, why does he have a collar if he doesn't wear a hood and he's got his the hat on, which is part of the mask? That's how he appeared in the cartoon. So Hasbro tried to remain dedicated to the source material. Then you got, you know, basically the torso is molded in that, I guess it's a magenta color or darker. And of course the arms are molded in green, the gloves the same magenta color. And then you've got a belt that's loose, and it's got a buckle on it, which I believe we've seen this belt before. I don't think necessarily on a Green Goblin, no, but we have seen this belt before. And then you look at the lower torso there. It's a different color, and you might wonder, well, Hasbro got the colors mixed up. Nope, that's how Green Goblin appeared in the cartoon, two tones. Then, of course, you've got the legs molded in green, as you can notice, no chainmail. And then there's the Buccaneer boots going on, and the rolled up leprechaun shoes, which should make it easier to put in his Goblin glider. And then on the back, we've got nothing going on. Got a hole in the back, so some people with old school stands may be able to utilize that to have Gobby flying. And then we'll turn him around and get our boy, let's at least center him. And then presto changeo, here he is unmasked. There's our guy Norman Osborn, and taking a look at that particular head sculpt. Like I said, it's Norman for sure, but it looks a little bit different. Like I said, it probably suits. It's apropos because this is supposed to be, you know, based on the cartoon. So look at him profile, a little angle there. Go to the other side for sure, and then let's get a look at that rear with those lines that Norman Osborn is known for. I'm there rocking him and socking him. And then now he won't stand up because I totally moved him around. But there we go. Got him centered again. And here's Gobby with his satchel and holding his pumpkin bomb. And now here we have Goblin totally equipped as he's on his glider. And he's got his pumpkin bomb and his satchel. Now, well, I'll call it a semi-difference because in some gliders it had this feature and in others it didn't. And what I'm getting at is, let me take our boy off of the glider real quick so you can see what I'm talking about, and then turn him up. You see that hole there? It should be there so it can accommodate those plastic stands like what came with Demo Goblin and came with the Hawkeye and his Sky Cycle. And let's see, we're going to see if that actually works. Well, I attempted to utilize that stand that I spoke of. This is it right here. Those of you that remember from the old Demo Goblin Build-A-Figure, and currently the Sky Cycle. It's part of the Sky Cycle that comes with the Hawkeye Sky Cycle 60th anniversary, Avengers 60th anniversary set. And yeah, that hole is, that port is just too small to accommodate that hole. I even tried heating it up, and I may not have heated it up enough to get it to be pliable enough to fit in there, but what I did use and try, it wouldn't fit, and I didn't want to stress out the plastic. So you'll have to just use conventional stands. Here's a look at our current Green Goblin up against the previous attempt at making a cartoon-based greenie. As you can see, we've got the here on the right, it's got the chainmail body. This chainmail body we first saw on the Dread Knight way back in the day, before they reused it for the Green Goblin that came before the one on our right. It was a darker green, and the purple was more metallic-like. But as you can see here, we still retain the chainmail, and the satchel, different color. It's almost a that's a true magenta over there. The satchel on our right actually matches the torso color of our Green Goblin on the left. And then there's the head sculpts right there. You see the difference right there. The one on the right's got those bulbous eyes. He's looking like a straight clown. Whereas on the left, that is more cartoon accurate. In here you see the differences in the glider. Obviously the purple one is for our VHS version, and this metallic is from the retro series, and you see the differences right there at the we'll call it the head of the gliders. They both had the hole, and both equally useless. Now we'll take a look at the base body that our current iteration of the Green Goblin came from. You see the cartoon version of the Hobgoblin is all smoothed out. Take note that the previous Hobgoblin was also covered in chainmail, and for the cartoon, they smoothed him out, as you could see, and unfortunately, he's got the Bucky cap feet. I'll lift him up so you can see what I'm talking about. The Bucky cap feet, and because they're straight up like that, he really is problematic fitting in his glider. You can also see that that's where the belt buckle comes from. It comes from the Hobgoblin, whereas the Green Goblin just had clasps, not a bona fide buckle. The other thing too is here is the Hobgoblin's glider. It is much smaller than the Green Goblin's glider, as you can see here. And of course the heads are different, different color purples. His purple, meaning the Hobgoblin's purple, for the glider, it nearly matches his satchel color, as you can see. Taking a look at the Goblin's articulation, old school body. Most of it you know what it is. Head is on a ball hinge, so you can look up that far. You can look down very nicely. You get attitude. You can 360 him. Shoulders, pretty tight. Be careful. You'll get some rub if you're not. You can get nearly 90 degrees at the shoulders. 360 going around on the rotation. You've got the bicep swivel. Double jointed, pinned elbows, and they're kind of gummy, so also be careful. You could stress it very easily. He's got the rotation at the wrists and the horizontal swivel, and that's on both hands. He's got an ab crunch, so he can go forward that far. He can go back that far. He's got a waist swivel, so you can twist him like that. He could do crazy splits, Van Damming it for real. He can get his leg up 90 degrees, back a decent amount. He's got the thigh cut, double jointed, pinned knees. He's got the rotation at the top of his boot. He can point his toe that far forward, that far up. He's got the ankle pivot going, and of course, holes, peg holes at the bottom of his feet. Taking a look at our Mary Jane, like I said, she is based on the cartoon, so her expression is looking kind of cartoony. Can't front. She's got she's looking kind of zany, and the hair is red, kind of that cartoon red. You know what I'm saying? Not a natural red or dark red like most other iterations of redheads that we've gotten, including Mary Jane. And yep, they really went with the cartoon look here. So I'm not going to give too much praise in terms of the digital face print, but they accomplished what they wanted to accomplish. So there is that. As far as her other colors are concerned, it's very, very similar to what we see in the cartoon. The purplish magenta like turtleneck, and then the yellow blouse, and of course the buttons are they're yellow too. I'm trying to recall if they were a different color in the cartoon or not. I think that they probably were yellow as well, and you can see that the sleeves of the turtleneck is coming through the bottoms of the blouse there, and then her lower half, she's got the purple pants going on and the reddish brown boots, and nothing going on there in the back. Well, nothing much, we should say that. And there we go. You could see that she's got the single jointed elbows, but that's because of the nature of her sleeves for the arms. She is blazing the pinless knees, so that's cool. Here's a look at the Mary Jane from the Spider-Man Mary Jane 2-pack on our right, and you can see the differences. Remember, I was talking about how cartoonish red our VHS version's hair is compared to that dark kind of red that most other redheads that Hasbro has produced is. You can see what I'm talking about right there, and you see that the 2-pack version is slightly taller, and of course they're totally different in terms of their attire. The 2-pack version has got pinned knees, and yeah, that's about the size of it. You can see the differences. Next up is Peter Parker. This is from the Vintage series, the card backs, and this is not a cartoon based but a comic based version of Peter Parker, and it's based on his early days when he was a teenager. You can see that from the crazy bubulous glasses that he used to sport, and he didn't really need them after he gained his powers, but he wore them a little bit sometimes in the very early issues of Spider-Man. We are getting a bona fide cartoon version of Peter Parker next up. And speaking of bona fides, we do have a bona fide Aunt May from the cartoon, as you can see right here. And then when we get Peter with our next and final 2-pack from this line, it'll be complete. Taking a look at Mary Jane's articulation, her head appears to be on a dumbbell, and because of her hair, you can scratch her looking up at all. She can look down, as you can see there. Looks crazy though because the hair won't drape down. It's going to poke out, but that's because we're dealing with plastic. You know how that goes. You get some pivot, especially more to her left side than her right, and you can turn the head. You're not going to 360 it because, once again, that hair. Shoulders, she can do better than 90, and she can rotate 360. She has that single jointed swiveling elbow, and she's got swiveling wrists with a horizontal hinge. That's on all of her hands. In terms of her torso, she's got a diaphragm that goes forward that much. She can go back pretty decently going back. There's always issues going forward though, as we all know. She can go side to side, and you're going to get your rotation at that diaphragm. As far as the hips, she could do the splits pretty decently. She can kick nearly 90. Go back a little bit. She's got the thigh cut, double jointed, pinless knees, as you can see there. She's got a boot cuff, so you can twist at the boot. She can point her toe that far forward. Very nicely going up. She's got ankle pivot, and of course, holes, peg holes at the bottom of her feet. Taking height measurements, the Green Goblin is coming in at about 6.5 inches tall, whereas Mary Jane is rocking just under 6.25 inches tall. So closing this one out, we're talking about the Hasbro Marvel Legends Pulse exclusive VHS Spider-Man 90s cartoon 2-pack of the Green Goblin and Mary Jane Watson. Another one for the books, the penultimate 2-pack. We've got one more to go. After this, it'll be Spencer Smythe, the Spider Slayer, and Mr. Parker himself, both cartoon versions. And that'll close out this line of VHS cartoon style action figures from Marvel, Hasbro. And yeah, what we got going on here though is Mary Jane Watson, definitely a welcome addition. People have wanted her, and we got her, and she's more or less like she appeared in the cartoon. You gotta love that. She comes with a mirroring set of hands. I got both open hands right now. She comes with an additional set of fists. That's all she came with, and not even a pocketbook, but I don't even know if she blazed the pocketbook in the cartoon. But they still could have given us something, but they did not. As for the Green Goblin, this is the third try at a Green Goblin with Hasbro Marvel Legends. The second attempt at a cartoon-based Goblin. And this one definitely is more in line with how the cartoon was than the previous iteration, which was an amalgam of the comic based and trying to give it a cartoon head. The cartoon head failed big time. Just a bug-eyed mess it was. You saw it earlier in the review. And this head is definitely an improvement. It looks more like the cartoon, which is cool. The colors are closer to the cartoon, which is also cool. We got a nice Norman Osborn head, which is pretty based on the cartoon as well. If you're looking at it from the aspect of more of the comic version, then you'll be slightly disappointed because it is not going to look like that. It comes with the glider, of course, the satchel, and a pumpkin bomb. That's it. It would have been nice if we got a pair of fisted hands to go with him as well, since he is super strong. He's nearly as strong as Spider-Man himself, and they have engaged in fisticuffs from time to time. In terms of the port at the bottom of the glider, it basically serves no purpose, since the The stand that they came up with, the plastic stand that they came up with, that's supposed to accommodate gliders, it's non-functional because it isn't big enough to accommodate those stands. So that was a fail right there. But other than that, it's a nice 2-pack, and it's a great way to get ready to round up our VHS line. Like I said, we are going to close out with Spencer Smythe and Peter Parker, and then that will do it for the Spider-Man VHS 90s cartoon line, and that's how it gets done.